All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here on the second channel, so you already know it must have got heated. Now, I'm sure the thumbnail was a little bit spicy. I don't even know what I'm going to put on it yet. Whatever it is, that's how I feel. However, I do want to say that I don't think it's okay to bring up how I feel when people have an issue that we all agree could have been handled better. However, I believe that there is a quiet majority of backers who sit back and watch pitchforks being raised for nothing burgers, and I'm kind of done holding my tongue about it. I believe that this community has a vocal minority who want to be stuck in this perpetual victimhood and just move from one controversy to another, making a lot of drama over unimportant things. We need to stop crying wolf. So I believe we need to stop crying wolf so that we can focus on crying about things that actually make a difference to the game's development. So in this video, I'm going to go through my raw reactions to CIG's video on the L22. At this point, there is no controversy because I'm watching it live as it's happening. So you guys will see my feelings in real time about everything that's going on. We get into a heated discussion on how malicious the release of this ship was. And I'm not censoring any of the curse words. This channel won't ever have that. I think it's important that us white knights, we're not white knights. We think they could do better. And all of the fucking yapping that's going on makes it so that when we actually need to yap, like when they make it so that when you die, you don't lose your gear, or when they take $0 CCUs and then make them disappear, maybe they'll hear us then. Because from their point of view, all we ever do is complain. So when we actually are complaining about something important, it just falls on deaf ears.
So how long have you known you were going to do another wolf?
So during internal development of the wolf, I think there was very divided opinions on the looks. Generally, we all thought it was cool, but we knew that the fin was going to be pretty divisive. Before we released, we'd already started plans for an alternative hull variant that kept the styling of the wolf, but did things in a different way. And that is the L22 Alpha Wolf.
Why not just remove the fin? Who likes the fin? I don't like really dislike it, but I don't really love it. Anyway, crazy people like the fin. Nobody likes the ship, right? I mean, the fin. I don't see why it needed to be there. How did I even find out it was there? I know I found out like a little bit later after my first time like getting in it, I think. Because you don't know until you take off. I don't know. Anyway, I don't see why they didn't just like take it off, but whatever. Let's see what the difference is. Because I honestly don't know. You guys know better than me. It's a cool looking ship. Not gonna lie.
The L22 Alpha Wolf is a single-seat light fighter that has aggressive lines and heavy aero that allow the vehicle to be highly maneuverable and agile.
It takes that very retro-futuristic styling, trades out the ballistic weapons for energy weapons, and then does a few...
Okay, so then what someone told me is wrong then. I thought that they were going to come out with new, like more bespoke weapons for ships, and that like you'd be able to get the bespoke, you know, L21 energy repeaters or cannons, whatever. So I guess it's not the thing. They're just giving us another variant with the difference. I don't like that. Like, why do we need another variant? Just let me change the weapons. It's deployable thing now. It's not linked to the landing gear. Oh, okay. That would be kind of cool if the fin could get deployed while like you're flying in atmosphere, and it could be maybe an active fin that could help you with your agility in atmosphere. That would be pretty cool. I would love to have it then. Jared said we get more bespoke. Yeah, that's what I thought I heard. I think I might have heard that from you, and I think I might have heard him when he said it directly. And maybe we will. Maybe we'll get both. Yeah, we'll have to see. Or maybe he was wrong. You know what I mean? Like he could have seen this and assumed that they were given more bespoke weapons when actually it's a whole new variant. Anyway, let me move on with the video.
Two other little subtle geometry tweaks.
It's very sleek, somewhat aggressive, kind of like a scalpel. Doesn't just get the job done, but also looks good doing it.
This ship is for an aggressive pilot that likes to get into the action and get out quickly.
So what makes it alpha? It's not automatically better, right?
Releasing another variant.
It means it has more bugs that the pilot has to fix.
We didn't want to just swap the weapons out. We wanted to make some visual differences. The rear wings are completely changed. They've got a very different silhouette now. We have these long sweeping wings on the Wolf, whereas on the Alpha Wolf, there's some vertical side fins. Rather than being on the underside of the ship, they're now on the exterior, on the sides.
A direct nod to World War II aircraft with the kind of T-shaped rudders and elevators in the back.
They give a little bit more kind of like straight line attitude to the ship, I think. One of the things that split the customer base for Kruger was the fin on the base Wolf. So what we've decided to do with the Alpha Wolf is the fin has been drastically reduced and giving a much more kind of streamlined look to it. There is still a fin there, it's very, very small, but I don't think I could.
It's a micro fin.
Let it out without one.
You will see some slight
What did
handling.
he say?
I don't think I could let it out without one.
You will see some slight handling differences to reflect the geometries of the ship. So you lose a tiny amount of SCM and nav speed, but gain maneuverability instead.
We also added this kind of sinister looking red light stripe.
I don't really care about SCM and nav speed, really. I care about the acceleration. I'm sure it's slightly less, it's still really good.
On the canopy, which references iconic sci-fi like RoboCop, also Knight Rider. It has a sinister high-tech vibe
That looks
and
dope.
maybe even feels a little bit alive.
The other big change we've made on the rear is we've got these kind of large power capacitors. From there, you can see these really bright orange cables that kind of dive into the ship and then they kind of come back out and you can see where they connect into the weapons when they're deployed as well.
My favourite thing about the L-22 is the size 4 laser repeaters.
With the energy weapons, this
Okay.
obviously means you are not limited in terms of firepower. You don't.
I want to make sure I'm not getting kicked out of the game. Are you fucking kidding me? We actually have a stock paint in black, gunmetal, dark gray, whatever? Really? Okay. I'm surprised. They seem to lock those behind the paywall. Let's go.
Don't have that finite amount of ballistic ammo. You have energy weapons that recharge, so it allows you to stay in the fight longer.
They're still very elegant, they fold away, they just look very special in my opinion.
I think when engineering comes in, unless they make some drastic changes, y'all might want your ballistics back. I don't know.
It also comes with a slight variation in the missiles that provide a little bit more firepower.
It trades out the size 1 missiles for size 2 missiles.
We've managed to fit 3 of these in each wing.
And another key differentiator is the fact that it has upgraded components by default.
It's got slightly upgraded quantum drive in it as factory standard.
And one of the nice things about the Alpha Wolf being a variant is it gets to use all of the base Wolf paints plus all of its new paints, and those new paints will be backwards compatible with the L21 as well.
One of the things that sets Kruger apart from other manufacturers is they're sort of a closed loop for upgrades. They want you to upgrade from themselves and not look elsewhere.
They make custom integrated weapons that give a much more interesting, dynamic experience, but they know you want more options. They know you don't just want the basic that comes with the actual ship. Kruger's more than happy to provide people with as many options as they want, as long as you stay with Kruger.
So for that reason, we're introducing weapon kits for both versions of the Wolf. Coming alongside the Alpha Wolf is a ballistic weapons kit that allows you to swap out the laser repeaters for the ballistic Gatlings, which is something that will be important in the upcoming tactical strike groups.
Alternatively, if you love your L21 and it's fit, you can get the new laser repeater and put that onto your L21.
This really allows you to pick which visual style of Wolf you like and then kit it out how you wish in terms of weapons.
It means that every time Kruger releases something new, it's not just new Kruger owners that will get excited, it's our old Kruger owners as well.
And I think this is something we'll see going forward with future Kruger ships.
So you're going on the record right now, there's more Kruger ships coming.
Yes.
What you need to ask yourself is, which one do you like better? Or which one you feel like flying today. Some days you might want to fly close to the water and skim it. Other days you might want to feel a bit more Robocop. Both of them are beautiful ships, and I think a lot of people want to own both.
I was really happy with the L21, and I think the L22, it stands alone.
Who would want to own both? I don't like any of this.
I think it's a great looking ship. I think it's a great functioning ship. Very happy.
The team did an amazing job kind of bringing the concept to life. I hope you feel like you have something powerful in your hands. I hope when you see the weapons extend, you realize that this ship packs a punch.
Selling a swap kit for a ship that people didn't buy because they didn't want ballistics and they aren't offering it with LTI. People literally swapped on the L21, skipped on it because of what it had. So there's no LTI on.
Everything good with you?
I don't really care. A couple reasons I don't care about that, because like LTI doesn't mean shit. And if you're responsible, what is happening with the frames? If you're a responsible citizen, you already have LTI on everything anyway. But I guess you have to have one ready. You have to have a LTI token ready to upgrade now. Yeah, don't harp on. I'm telling y'all, don't harp on the fucking ballistics. I was with the engineering thing. The TTK was kind of long, and then I swapped to a ship that had a mixed loadout, and then all of a sudden I was disabling ships like regularly. That's the other reason why I don't really care too much, because like not to the same degree, but like I feel like just like how this game needs to have multi-crew, we also need to have a reason to have a mixed loadout, right? Like at some point that needs to be a thing. Ballistic weapons should have a purpose. If you don't like them, that's bad game design. It's not the weapon's fault. It is odd though that it wouldn't have LTI. It's a. Are you sure? So it does have LTI? Oh, maybe he's talking about the fact that you can't get LTI on the L21. He's talking about the fact that people skipped the Wolf last time because of the ballistics. Now they fixed the problem, and now they don't have the option of getting LTI anymore. I get it. Didn't Jared immediately come out and say that there's gonna be a bespoke swappable thing? Where do we hear that, Cryogenics? Maybe it was Sitcon. No, we already know the L22 has LTI. We know that now. The L21 does not. And if you didn't buy it last time because it didn't have the problem, yeah, I mean, it's not something I'm mad at them about. Who thinks about that? It doesn't even, that would just be damn near weird for them to think about that. It's like the people who make the ship don't have the ability, they don't set the prices. So I'm not mad about it. I mean, it does seem like an issue. If somebody could bring it up to them as possible, maybe they might, give an LTI option, but it's just an automated thing. I also don't give a fuck about LTI, man. Like at this point, it's like 1.0 is gonna come out in 5 years, right? Let's get a calculator here. I'm never gonna say 2 years again for this game. So we're talking, I'm 37 years old, and then we're gonna add 5 years, so I'm gonna be 42. What a quinky dink. I'm gonna be Squadron 42 when 1.0 comes out, and then plus 10 years from then, I'm gonna be 52 years old. I don't really give a fuck, and I'm probably in the medium age range. Like, am I even still gonna be playing this game in 10 years after it releases? Probably not. I might come back to it. Maybe it'll be like Eve. It'll be a thing you play, and maybe you come back, spend a couple more years playing it, and then come back. I hope that's what it becomes. But am I gonna be playing it for 10 years? I don't think so. It's funny though. I'll watch it being built for 10 years though. What the f are we doing? That's another thing too. At the 10-year mark, like, how much money do you have? Just buy insurance in game. You won't have anything to do. That's why the whole fucking LTI thing to me is just, there's so many reasons why I just don't give a f. I'm sorry, I hate when when somebody's mad about something and I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. I understand. Like, I'm not gonna say they shouldn't give you LTI. It's just like, I just stopped giving a fuck about that a long time ago. Like, I guarantee you, like, there's probably gonna be a better ship by then, you know, that does the same thing. LTI only covers the chassis anyway. That's true too, yeah. Just LTI just gets more and more worthless. Yeah, but I still don't want to diminish his anger with it. He did say hot take in front of it, but I don't think it's like a pulling thing. I just think it's just like, what do you do for a living, Chimp? I'm gonna start asking everybody this question. What do you do for a living? Anytime I can't find a reason why somebody's like mad about it, I would just like to know what you do for a living, just to help me understand, like, like what kind of person you are. I don't know what life experiences you might have had. I can't even fathom how this isn't completely forgivable, considering this is such a jank way to fund a game. It's just like, yeah, the people who made this mistake with the weapons or whatever, I'm more angry that there even is an L22. Like, we don't, it's not needed, right? Like, just give me the fucking weapons. And then people are gonna say, of course, that, you know what people are really gonna say, where Reddit's saying right now, is that they just made this so they can get an extra $20 so people can upgrade, or people to buy two, like, because another variant doesn't need to exist. The only reason why I don't believe that is because they talked about why it exists, and either they're blatantly lying, which I don't believe they would do. It doesn't make any sense. You can look at John Cruz's face and know he doesn't give a fuck. So I don't think he has any reason to lie. I don't think he would lie. I don't think he'd be a guy you'd be able to get to lie. I think he'd be like, I don't really want to even be here, bro. Like, now you're gonna have me stand up here and lie? You know, that more so than them just like not thinking about the fact that some people may not have bought it because of the ballistics. Cause like, you could just buy the ballistic pack now, or buy it in game, and then what does it matter? I'm all over that. I have nothing to be angry about. CIG blatantly lies. All right, now before we get back to that dirty word, I just want to go over the portion of the video in question that we're talking about where CIG is apparently lying.
So how long have you known you were going to do another Wolf?
So during internal development of the Wolf, I think there was very divided opinions on the looks. Generally, we all thought it was cool, but we knew that the fin was going to be pretty divisive. Before we released, we'd already started plans for an alternative hull variant that kept the styling of the Wolf, but did things in a different way. And that is the L22 Alpha Wolf.
So, it is pretty clear to anybody with an objective, rational mind that that is staged. But it's staged because I feel like Jared anticipated that there might be some sort of community backlash, and he figured that the remedy would be to explain why there is a new variant. If you think they could have handled that better, then we agree, and the tone for the rest of this video is not directed towards that opinion. But now if you're gonna sit here and tell me that they fabricated this whole story, then that's where we wholeheartedly disagree. CIG blatantly lies? Give me an example. Give me an example. You don't want to get in this argument with me. I'm like, I get why people think that. I think it's like, it would be incredibly stupid to not think people are lying. People lie all the fucking time. It's just, there's no need to fucking lie. There's no need. Like, people lie for like a reason. There's no need to lie. The more, every time somebody says that they lied, the revenue keeps going up. All I hear is they're liars, they're greedy, all this, and then the fucking revenue spikes like fucking, you know what I mean? Reclaimer Claw, Master Modes, Pyro Star. Oh, okay. So my bad. Maybe I don't understand what definition of lie you use, but you mean to tell me that they had a plan in an open development game and then they changed their mind and that's a lie? If they did everything they ever said they would do, we would have a shitty game. Imagine if you had to build a game today, right? You had to build a game today and you write out your plan for this game, and then it had to be made like that to the T. It would be trash. What is like, that wouldn't even be fun to make. We wouldn't have any input. You want a closed development game? Just fucking buy a completed game where you don't have to be involved in the development process. It's not lying. It's just they either change their mind or whatever feature is no longer, it isn't a priority like you might think it is. I'm more inclined to just blame the community, if you've been here for years, to not like understand what this is. Like, they're building this game. Plans change. If they didn't, that would wouldn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. No game in the history of fucking games have they decided to do a thing and then they did exactly that thing and then did not have the freedom or the ability to be able to change their mind when it's actually being made. You've been here for years, you've been spot on every time. We both have. The difference is you're saying that they're lying. I'm just saying that it's an open development game that has to change by its innate. You know what I mean? I get it though. You know what I mean? Like, the world, there's a lot of liars like in the world, but it doesn't make sense for why they would lie. Like, they can't do wrong. Like, they're making money fucking hand over foot. They've, in my opinion, accidentally cultivated a fucking, like, a buying community. Like we have a buying culture in this game, which is fucking weird. Like, it's weird that we just are just okay with just buying everything. Like, I thought for sure that one of the downsides to adding ships in the game, to be able to buy them in game, would mean that, like, man, that might be actually detrimental to the development of this game. If people are gonna stop buying ships. I couldn't have been more fucking wrong. Go play Starfield. Mine would be like selling LTI with the intent of not having LTI. Exactly. I mean, think about it like this, right? Marcus, you're saying that they're liars, right? Imagine if they didn't lie, and then they were like, you know what? That Death of a Spaceman article we wrote back in 2013, yeah, we're gonna go back to that. No more of this fucking regen crisis. No more of that shit. No more of that. Just, yeah, you die, you lose everything you bought. What lies tell me what lies you're okay with. Kier says server meshing has been working all year, and it's not. Is that lying? What are you talking about, dude? Server meshing is working in game right now. Maybe you're talking about maybe you're talking about like something he said 2 years ago. Making money doesn't correlate to lying. You're saying if they lie, they shouldn't make money. I'm not saying that at all. No. I'm saying that a motivation to lie that we can all identify with would be for money, for monetary purposes. Like, I want to keep my job, so I'm gonna lie. I want to have this game sell as many ships as possible, so I'm gonna lie. They're not monetarily compensated for selling more ships. The only people who are is kind of fucking no one. They don't have shareholders. No one there makes any more or less than ways that they should. Even Chris Roberts. This has been confirmed by outside sources. You can look at their reporting with their financials, and it's clear that, like, no one's being overpaid. So this whole they're greedy thing is just like ignorant because every fucking dime they make makes the game get completed faster and better. Every time I jump through the warhole, my MFDs break, can't use missiles, etc. Like, that doesn't mean that it's broken. Okay, we have a language barrier going on here. I don't understand. You're saying that they're lying, but they're not lying. They just changed. So yeah, and then now you're saying it's broken, but no, it's just buggy, just like the rest of the game. Newsflash: if you're building something with code, anytime you add code, you add bugs. That's impossible to not happen. So unless you want them to literally work out every single bug anytime they release an update in an open development game, a game that's being openly developed, do you guys understand that if they did that, the game would never come out? Never. We can't have a not buggy game. Anytime they add shit, it's literally a fucking, I'm not even a fucking developer or coder. It's a meme. It's like, what's the meme? Somebody in chat will know. Some people in here are developers and shit. They do have shareholders. Oh, fuck. They have like a few private investors whose amount, no, that's not the same thing. They're not a publicly traded company. And those shareholders are the only reason probably why we're getting Squadron 42 potentially in 2026, because apparently if they don't release Squadron 42 by 2026, one of those backers has to get their money back. And it's an insignificant amount of money compared to what we backed. Insignificant. It's like $52 million out of, what are we at, 900,000 right now? 100 star systems at launch. There will be 5. Is that not a lie? No, it's just that plans change. Dude, you don't, I'm done arguing because you're clearly not, like, don't even know anything about the game. Fuck.
Yo, Blackjack 2128. Thanks for the tier 1 subscription.
This predates
Welcome
me.
to the sub
Okay,
club.
I backed in 14, and I didn't start really playing the game until 2018. The Kickstarter was game A, right? Then they got so much money, and Chris Roberts was like, "Hey, wait a minute, guys. If you guys are gonna put in this much money,
just redeemed Hydrate for 100 points."
You're right. He said, "Wait a minute, guys. If you guys are giving me this much money, I actually want to make this game. This game that I was going to create was just the thing that was going to help me get the funding and the notoriety to be able to make my real end game. What do you guys want us to do? Do you want us to make that game, or do you want us to make this game?" And they allowed us to vote on it, and they voted for this game. $52 million is insignificant in the grand scheme of the other $850 million. I'd give them their fucking money back. No, but they still get to, if I understand correctly, they'll have to get their money back and still
Subliminal
own
in chat.
a percent.
Twitch is about to start a 182nd adviator to reduce stream interruptions.
That, like, I don't trust is Chris Roberts. He's the only person. I could speak ad nauseum about all the mistakes he made back in the beginning, but also at the same time, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be this far. I'm sorry I haven't been reading anybody else's messages except his. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted those 100 planets, it's gonna be like Mass Effect, where you just go fucking fly to it. There's a fucking cutscene, and then you go walk around in a certain. It's like fucking Starfield. Like, but it would have even had less fidelity than Starfield. You would not want to fucking play. Verpal's here, boys. You would not even want to play that game. So like, yeah, it's like whatever, dude. Like you're being a professional victim. You're like trying to find a reason to be pissed. So I don't really give a shit if you're pissed. I can understand how some people might be, ignorant to it, and I don't mean ignorant in like a bad way. I just mean maybe you don't know the stuff that I would know, because it's really hard to know everything. I don't see a reason. Like Chris Roberts, I don't trust him. If anybody's gonna lie, it would be him. Everybody else, though, I trust. They just don't have a reason. They don't have an incentive to do so. And keeping your job, fuck that. How many of you guys would lie to your customers to work there? I don't know about y'all, but like if I had to like lie to my customers that I care about, I'm just gonna work somewhere else. Oh, let me get this package. Purple's here. Victim me, Harley, the entire community is soft. Soft? This entire community is soft. Doesn't demean demand more. You always take the slop. I won't. I don't really give a fuck, dude. You're clearly not even educated on the game at all. So I don't really care. You don't know what's actually going on. So yeah, I'd be mad too if I didn't know what was going on. I think you think this is a game. That's what I think you think. I think you think this is a game. A lot of people, I think it's a game. It's not a fucking game.
Hey, chat. Twitch is about to start a 180-second ad break very soon. Advertisements have been bundled together to reduce stream interruptions.
To test their game while they build it, we pay them to do that. And if everyone, that's why I want to make that new player guide, where I literally tell people why not to buy the game. I think if people had their expectations where I've had it for the last at least 5 years, I think that is the thing. And I really do have patience for that. And I understand that I've been creating things all my life. So I understand that. I've had customers, literally watching me make something for them. And it is not something I ever want to do again. I'll never do that again. Because the customer just doesn't understand what you're doing while you're doing it, and they keep asking dumb questions, and it's just let me just do what the fuck you hired me to do, and then you give me your feedback and we move on from there. Maybe I'll show it to you once in a way that allows you to kind of see which direction I'm going and make sure we're going in the right way, and then after that you'll see what I consider to be a finished product. And then anytime I told the customer, yeah, you can watch me, the design wound up looking like it wasn't made by a professional, and they were kind of happy and I was fucking annoyed. But then if I could make a thing without their input, they were ecstatic. This shit's not natural for us to be involved. I wouldn't even work for this fucking company. I wouldn't even work for CIG. No fucking way. You wouldn't even pay me to stand up on camera and say shit to people so they can call you a liar when the fucking plans change. I've been recording this fucking rant the whole time. Now I'm not even gonna put up on YouTube. Maybe I should put it up on my second channel. When you make something that's open, you open yourself up to criticism. If you can't take it, that's the thing. They can take it. Let me reverse that for you. When you back something that's in open development, you have to understand that the plans change and that nobody's fucking lying. I bet Marcus ain't got shit to say about that. Okay? I think you don't. Nobody in chat. Does anybody in chat? Does anybody in chat think that when they say fucking server meshing works? You're a liar. You say it don't work, you're a liar. What was the other thing he said that they lied about? Who thinks they lied when they said that they were gonna make 1,000 systems or whatever, and then they're gonna release it with 5? Who says that they lied? So far, every lie that you've mentioned is objectively not a lie. Planning practices in the gaming industry are very behind standard. He got the Star Citizen team to improve a lot, though, before he left. Squadron 42 team was resistant. Yeah. If I had to talk bad about them, I do this every time I'm white knighting for him. Chris Roberts should have never made a multinational studio. He did not deserve that. That was a lot of wasted money. He picked the wrong engine to make the game, and maybe that could just be just a thing that kind of happens. I mean, it was a bad choice. I think he's egotistical, vain. I bet he's very difficult to work with because I think he's like a perfectionist, and he wants things to be a certain way, and then he makes them do all this work to do it, and then we already know he's kind of difficult to deal with. He asks maybe too much of them. Why subscribe malice to something that can more easily be explained by ignorance? You quoting me quoting people now? I think CIG does themselves no favors, but I don't think they're lying. Yeah, we have some real skeptics, people who oppose me defending them, what seems like at every pass in chat. and we all, like, we respectively disagree, and nobody's agreeing with you. I don't think you're a white knight. I just think you and I disagree, and that's fine. Not everyone will agree on everything. Yeah, I agree with that. But if I think the sky is blue and you think it's green, but it's actually blue, then we don't disagree. You live in a different reality than I do. Kind of like that we start with 5. In my personal opinion, there is no need to have that many people in the game. And then there's the argument about everybody being in the same, like, universe. We don't need that. Like, I don't, if that's gonna add like more time to development, I don't want it. Marcus, that was called an analogy. So I can't make an analogy with the facts, because that wouldn't be an analogy. I've already told you the facts about how you're wrong. You gave 2 reasons why they lied, and it's an objective, no, they didn't lie. You just don't know what you're talking about. You haven't given me or anybody any plausible evidence that they've ever lied. It's not an opinion. The game was supposed to have 1,000 systems on the Kickstarter, but the community voted no. I don't get it. It's an open development game. They make plans that have to change in the same way that I have to breathe. So no, it's not an opinion. You're intellectually deficient. I'm losing fucking brain cells at this point. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting dumber by the fucking minute just arguing with this guy. You're gonna cook me in a YouTube video later on. I'm gonna laugh when the fucking comments tell you how fucking stupid you are. Don't attribute to malice, looking to be attributed to incompetence. Chris Roberts is known for being incompetent in video game development and dreaming way beyond the boundaries of reality to the point of self. Yes, I agree with all of this. To prove that point, I don't think anyone lied besides the people who lied to themselves for believing anything Chris Roberts said. I agree with all of that, and I bet that's probably shocking to some people, but I agree with everything that that man just said. The only reason why this game is coming out is because of luck, and we threw so much money at it. But I will say though, the ship was squirrely in the beginning, but I think that they've gotten progressively better to the point now where I don't have any problem with anything that they've done. Like a real problem. I don't have a real problem with anything that they've done over the last 2 years, and we've had the most controversial 2 years ever. Anyway, I don't want to talk about this anymore, only because I've got Virtual joysticks here that I want to open, and I want to fucking record a first look at these ships. So let's stop talking about it for now. I promise you I can argue about this shit later on. I promise, but I gotta do this. Verify what I just said about them not making any mistakes. I'm talking about recently, with an exception of the changes to the loot system. I don't think that they've done anything egregiously wrong that will require me to pick up my pitchfork. And over the last few years, we've had the Galaxy debacle, we've had the Blade debacle, and I'm too tired to remember what the other 1 or 2 things were. But actions speak louder than words, and our actions in continuing to pledge for this game that is apparently ripping everybody off with these shady business practices, like, stop backing the game. But here we are, we have like the most controversial 2 years in the history of the game, and then we're gonna also break the highest record in funding in the history of the game. Do you want to know why? Because most people don't actually care, because they understand that these shady business practices at the end of the day brings in money to fund the development of the game, to make it better and arrive faster. So I'm trying to advocate for us to choose our battles, and this crying wolf shit is not one of them. I'm sure most of the haters don't have the attention span to get this far into the video. So I want to say thank you guys who, come and discuss things with me on my live streams. This channel is not meant for me to rant. The idea is that we can have discussions during my live stream about anything. It doesn't have to be about something negative. It could be about something positive, and then I could turn that discussion into a YouTube video that we could discuss with a broader audience, and just any other content that I feel that doesn't fit the main channel. So if you like that, you know, subscribe, share the video, because the YouTube algorithm is gonna screw it. I think this is like my second video ever, so it's this thing probably, I'm probably literally just did all this for like 50 views. Anyway, all right, yeah, peace out. I will see you guys in the next one.